hung up, I sat there staring at my phone, wondering when talking to my best friend started feeling like a chore. I thought about texting him that I missed him, but I wasn't sure if it was true anymore. I signed up for a pottery class the following week because someone at work mentioned it, and I thought, why not? The studio smelled like wet clay, and there were maybe 8 people sitting at wheels looking just as clueless as me. The teacher was this older woman with gray hair pulled back in a messy bun who kept saying things like, "Feel the clay, don't force it," which sounded fake deep, but actually helped. My first bowl looked like a sad pancake, but I didn't care, because for 2 hours I wasn't thinking about Leo or our weird half-relationship or anything except keeping my hands steady. I started going every Thursday night, and by the 3rd week I could make something that almost looked like a mug. The people in class were nice in that casual way where you chat while working but don't exchange numbers. There was a guy named Noah who worked in accounting and a woman named Sarah who taught middle school, and we'd joke about our terrible pottery while we cleaned up. On Fridays, I started hitting the art market downtown with people from my design firm. We'd walk through the vendor stalls drinking overpriced coffee, and I'd buy these little paintings or handmade jewelry that I definitely didn't need. My apartment was filling up with stuff that had nothing to do with Leo. Things I picked because I liked them, not because they reminded me of some shared memory. My coworker Caleb invited me to his birthday party, and I went even though I barely knew anyone there. I ended up talking to his roommate about graphic novels for like an hour, and when I got home I realized I'd had actual fun without checking my phone once to see if Leo texted. The weird part was it did feel like freedom, but also like I was betraying something. Every time I laughed at a joke Leo hadn't heard or made plans he wasn't part of, there was this small guilty feeling in my chest. Like I was supposed to save all my good moments for him even though that made no sense. I'd been building my whole life around being Leo and Julia since I was 5, and now I was just Julia, and I didn't know if that was growth or loss or both. 3 months into long distance, my phone rang at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, which was weird because Leo and I had stopped calling unless we scheduled it. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. He was crying so hard I could barely understand him at first. He kept saying he felt stuck and invisible, like his life was on pause and nothing he did mattered. I sat on my bed holding the phone trying to figure out what to say while he talked about how his job was fine and his apartment was fine and everything was fine, but he felt like he was disappearing. He admitted he only took the engineering position because it was close enough to visit me on weekends, not because it was actually what he wanted for his career. He said he'd been making choices based on what would keep him near me since we were kids, and now he didn't even know what he wanted anymore. I asked him what he would want if I wasn't in the picture, and he went quiet for so long I thought the call dropped. Then he said he didn't know how to want things for himself because needing me had always felt like the only thing that mattered. I realized we'd both been doing the same thing, making decisions out of fear instead of desire. I'd taken my job partly because it was far enough away to prove I could exist without him. He'd taken his job to stay close enough to keep me. We were both so scared of losing each other that we'd stopped building actual lives. After we hung up, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling thinking about how loving someone shouldn't mean putting your whole life on hold, but somehow that's exactly what we'd done. 6 months after graduation, we had the breakup conversation over video chat. Leo's face on my laptop screen looked tired and sad, and I probably looked the same. We'd been dancing around it for weeks, the calls getting shorter and more awkward until we were basically strangers who used to